Good day and welcome to SCO BRICS Insight, where we look at the latest information, news and analysis on what's really going on in the world of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and the BRICS. Today we're going to talk about Russian companies having discovered that being domiciled in the West is not all it's cracked up to be. In recent months, hundreds of companies that were previously registered in jurisdictions in the West have returned to Russia. Now, this trend has accelerated mainly due to new laws that make it easier for Russian capital to relocate back to their homeland. It's not clear exactly how much has been repatriated, but it's certainly into the trillions of rubles, if not the tens of trillions of rubles. However, it's worth noting that each of those companies was actually owned by Russian capital and were once registered on or listed in the stock markets of the West. So why have they returned? Well, I think mainly the decision by the Western stock exchanges to force the delisting of certain Russian companies and imposing sanctions that restricted Russian businesses' access to loans, finance are significant. Additionally, Russian companies registered in the West faced quite a few challenges when completing transactions and paying dividends. So it appears that the West is pretty openly hostile to Russian companies and Russian entities, not to mention Russian businessmen themselves. I think everybody remembers the incident with Roman Abramovich, where his football club Chelsea was basically taken away from him and given away allegedly with the money due to go to Ukraine. Anyway, today Russian businesses fully understand the meaning of what Vladimir Putin said on this matter over 20 years ago. And about a year ago he reiterated that Russian capital should return back and be part of the national development of Russia. So now, Russian owners are being welcomed back in their homeland, and the Russian state has taken measures to ensure that Russian businesses have everything that they need for coming back and being able to work with the government on the main activities, their employees and the assets that are located in Russia. Bear in mind, most of the companies that are listed abroad, their assets were actually in Russia, and they just located for a variety of reasons, financial or whatever, in the stock markets of the West. Since 2018, Russia has established two special administrative regions, SARs as they're called, with special legal regimes designed to accommodate the companies that are relocating back from foreign jurisdictions. One is on Oktoberski Island in Kaliningrad and the Rossisky Island in Vladivostok. These SARs offer tax incentives to encourage businesses to return to the jurisdiction of Russia, and will benefit greatly from various other things like tax breaks, etc. Also passed additional laws that guarantee special support for these companies, provide for the lots of things that they are not able to do currently under foreign regulations, and with the shareholders now being in unfriendly countries. So this has had a very positive effect on Russia. Mainly because the companies coming back are actually very significant. One of them, the TCS Group, which is the parent company of the very large Tinkoff Bank and Tinkoff Insurance, has come back to Russia, and the group's revenue in 2023, or the first half of 2023, was 487 billion rubles, and it had a net profit of 80.9 billion. And a client base of over 40 billion people. So it's a not insignificant organization. Now, following Tinkoff, Vladimir Putin, who also happens to be a major shareholder of the TCS group, moved into Rosinvest, which was an international company which was registered in Cyprus. Now he holds, or his company Interros, significant assets including Rosbank, which is a major Russian bank, several insurance companies, but more significantly a 37% stake in Norilsk Nickel, which is one of the world's largest mining and metallurgical companies. In the first half of 2023, Norilsk Nickel generated revenue of 6.7 billion. Interros as a company, apart from Norilsk Nickel and various other bits, also owns ski resorts in Rosa Khutar and a major tourist cluster called the Three Volcanoes in Kamchatka. Also, and part of Interros's portfolio is a 37% stake in the Brzezinski Gok, which is a major mining plant mine and plant that extracts copper, gold, and various other precious metals. It underwent redomicile recently, and it was actually done by a presidential decree. So it was previously domiciled in Cyprus, and now it's back. Also last year, and it's now come to fruition, is Ozon, which is one of the largest companies in Russia, and it's a major Russian marketplace. It's very similar to Amazon, and it's moved its jurisdiction from Cyprus to Russia. Now, Igor Gazarimov, who's the CFO, he's explained that the structure has now come back to be as close as possible to its operating legal entities as in its operations in Russia. Now, in the company itself in 2023 sold goods worth 1.7 trillion rubles and had an operating cash flow of over 80 billion rubles. So it's a major company and it's growing all the time. The United Medical Group is another major company that has come back from Cyprus to Octobrysky Island in the special administrative region. It has various medical centres, prenatal and pediatrics centres, and rehabilitation centres around Russia, as well as clinics, etc. Now it has revenue of over 400 million euros, and they've come back simply because they felt that it was better for the company to be relocated back in Russia in a friendly jurisdiction. So the flow continues. Also Transmash Holding, which is the parent company of the major mechanical engineering company. It has a number of companies that make high-tech transport products, including trains, rail cars, and engines. It has over a dozen enterprises and had revenue in about 160 billion, which is about $2 billion. So basically what has been going on here is the fact that everybody has decided that the West is not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, according to Yuri Trutnev, the presidential envoy to the Far Eastern Federal District, on Rossisky Island alone in early 2022, some 5 trillion rubles has been returned to Russia and over 200 companies. So as you can see, it's all really beginning to kind of move forward. So what are the major benefits though from redomicile? Well, one is that the lack of interference by Western shareholders. They're not subject to sanctions, they can pay dividends and they can invest with impunity and boost the local economy. Also increases the tax base for the Russian government. Now, also, let's not forget, as I mentioned earlier, about Roman Abramovich, is the fear that their assets could be seized. I mean, you only have to look at companies like Gazprom, whose assets were appropriated in Germany, and Rosneft's refinery were also seized. So, and how can we forget the biggest industrial sabotage in history when the Nord Stream pipelines, which were 51% owned by Gazprom, a Russian entity, were blown up. And so far there's been no compensation, and they've lost billions and billions in revenue. So they can see why they have decided, well, hang on a minute, it's just not worth being there. So the West loss is Russia's gain. It's also a gain for the BRICS. As now the focus of Russian industry has turned away from Europe, and it's now looking to work with the Middle East, Asia, Latin America and the global south. So I can see that this trend of Russian companies coming back home and investing in Russia, or in perhaps in other members of the Eurasian Economic Union countries, Asia, etc. There are lots of possibilities, but it's certainly a turn away from the West, and Russia has finally, and its companies have finally decided that they've had enough. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe. Please leave any comments below, and don't forget to visit our website, SCO-BRICSinsight.com, where articles that I'm discussing the content of here on this video are available. It's updated multiple times per day with articles that are bound to be of interest. So do please like, subscribe, visit the website, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.